Nearly 12,000 children under 5 years of age in Gaza were identified to be suffering from acute malnutrition in July, the highest monthly figure recorded to date by the nutrition cluster. While the World Health Organization has confirmed at least 99 deaths due to malnutrition, including 64 adults and 35 children, since the start of the year.
Our partners working in nutrition report that acute malnutrition among children in Gaza has reached the highest levels recorded to date. In July alone, nearly 12,000 children aged 6 to 59 months were identified as acutely malnourished out of 136,000 screened. Of these, over 2,500 children suffer from severe acute malnutrition, the most life-threatening form. 40 children required hospitalization in stabilization centers. The proportion of children with severe acute malnutrition is rising. In June and July, 18% of all acutely malnourished children had severe acute malnutrition, compared with 12% between March and May. Humanitarian access constraints are adding to the malnutrition crisis.
They warn that the overall volume of nutrition supplies entering Gaza remained far below what was needed to prevent a further deterioration of the situation, while shelter for Gaza's population of 2 million remained a major concern, given the breadth of the enclave's destruction and devastation after almost 2 years of war.
More than 1 million shelter items and 2.3 million items such as tents, tarps, and sealing-off materials have been procured and are currently stranded in Jordan and Egypt, as Israeli authorities have not approved their entry. No shelter materials have entered Gaza since the 2nd of March, despite the immense needs. Existing stocks are fully depleted, and the shelter crisis continues to worsen. Most families in Gaza are living in severely overcrowded, unsafe, and undignified conditions, some with no shelter at all. An assessment in July of 44 displacement sites in Gaza City found that 43 sites, almost all, had families with no shelter. 11% of more than 6,500 surveyed households reported to be living out in the open. The shelter situation is also further deteriorating due to ongoing bombardment, displacement orders, and insecurity, which continue to displace families and disrupt humanitarian operations.
Venting concern here, Huck indicated that despite some access improvements, aid that has entered Gaza remained by far insufficient, while UN convoys continued to face impediments on their way to delivering aid.
While fewer humanitarian movements have been denied outright, missions that are approved still take hours to complete. As we mentioned here, some of the missions have taken more than 18 hours to be completed, and teams have been compelled to wait on roads that are often dangerous, congested, or impassable. Yesterday, 5 out of 11 missions requiring coordination with Israeli authorities were facilitated. These included the collection of food from Kerem Shalom and Zikim crossings. Another 4 missions were impeded, but were eventually fully accomplished. These included collection of fuel from Kerem Shalom crossing and transfer of fuel from southern to northern Gaza. While limited quantities of fuel have been entering Gaza over the past week, fuel supplies remain critically limited and unpredictable, significantly undermining the ability of humanitarian partners to deliver and sustain life-saving services.
Israel has indicated that it would allow gradual and controlled entry of goods into Gaza, including supplies brought in through the private sector, in addition to pauses in fighting, airdrops, and protecting routes for aid convoys. But the end of the war remains out of sight amid failed ceasefire talks, as Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu expressed their intention to take control of all of Gaza in an effort to assure Israel's security, remove Hamas from power, and hand over to a civilian government supported by Arab forces that did not include the militant group. Moves to control Gaza, even temporarily, would fly in the face of an advisory opinion by the International Court of Justice last year that Israel's occupation of the Gaza Strip and West Bank, including East Jerusalem, was unlawful and needed to end. Chauvin Bricepies, SABC News, New York.